In my Expeditions and MudRunner game preview, I play the SnowRunner spin-off, where frosty precipitation has been replaced by sand, and rock crawling is king. Before Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus delivered presents to the world, I was asked if I wanted to play Expeditions, a MudRunner game, on PC via Steam. Not Epic Games this time. Naturally, I said yes, given the fact it is from the same developer as SnowRunner, and that SnowRunner is most popular on my YouTube channel. So here we are, going live with my thoughts and insights into this SnowRunner spin-off. At least, based on a preview version with relatively few tasks available, and the proviso that I had to use footage given to me and not record my own. Hence why you will see other YouTubers using the same gameplay. A spot of housekeeping first. Expeditions, a MudRunner game, has a release date of the 5th of March 2024 on Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and PC. Bear in mind that what you see may not be finished, so stuff could well change as we head towards the launch. I shall keep you posted. Our journey begins with a trusty tutorial, because things are somewhat different to SnowRunner, yet not so different you rarely feel lost. Although I did find all the different menus a bit clunky and confusing at times. Gears are, for instance, now handled by holding RB on an Xbox controller as opposed to LB, while LB deals with accessing spare fuel and repairing specific parts. If this boggles the mind, there is an option to swap LB and RB within the control menu. You will, however, have to get used to the now absent function menu. Rest in peace, old friend. Also RIP manual gears, as these have not been added. In the preview, Little Colorado is the starter area with 6 expeditions, the last of which is free roam for finding all hidden stuff using either the drone, goggles, or metal detector add-on. Free roam also allows you to complete tasks and contracts in SnowRunner style. Arizona, which looks a little similar to Little Colorado, is the second area. It has 41 expeditions, though only one was playable in the preview. Expect rocks, huge drops, and glowing sunsets. Lastly, we have the greener, leafier, woodier Carpathians, with another 41 expeditions, though again, only one was playable. Most challenges involve going from one place to another, either scouting or picking up and delivering equipment. There was also a truck rescue operation, which sadly did not reward me with the Step 310E, but it was enjoyable dragging it across a rocky and largely inhospitable map. Unlike in SnowRunner, where progress is relatively non-linear, Expeditions, a MudRunner game, relies on working your way through tasks to unlock the next. Think of it as more mission-based and structured. A prepayment is necessary to begin each expedition that is not refunded if you fail. Meanwhile, some tasks also require specific team members and items to play, meaning you have to invest even more money before you can even think about switching the engine on. With side bonuses and rewards available for those who go the extra mile, not just physically, your final payout can be greater, especially if you choose to continue after an expedition is complete. And pro tip, sell any acquired items at a base. The Expeditions, a MudRunner game preview also showcased 3 different truck categories. These are Scout, Off-Road and Heavy, with On-Highway and Special mentioned elsewhere. A mostly familiar roster then for SnowRunner truckers. Familiar is also a good description for the trucks themselves. There is the Don 71, Lodestar 1700, TUZ16 Actaeon, Kotko Canyon SR, AFIM S1960, ANK MK38 Civilian, Collie 293M Pug, Khan 39 Marshall, Khan Loaf KRS 58 Bandit, Step 310E, Tatra 805, Tatra Force T8157, TUZ 108 Warthog with Thog, and Yar 87. The Don Lodi TZ16 and Step 310E get slightly more expensive SE versions, some of which have improved stats. Unfortunately, when I try to purchase them, the game says you need a DLC. More on that stuff later. Most trucks were also locked behind inaccessible expeditions, meaning no in-depth truck analysis just yet. Then there are staff members to help you with each expedition. There are mechanics for improving vehicle performance, logisticians for supply and resource efficiency, hydrologists for making it easier to traverse water, Jaegers for general terrain traversal, operators for drone abilities and improvements, and lastly, managers for making expeditions more profitable. Just one specialist from each category can be hired for in-game money per expedition. Staff members with better or more useful bonuses can be unlocked by doing particular expeditions, further incentivizing progression. Not so new is the garage, which returns from SnowRunner in much the same form. Firstly, it provides vehicle storage and servicing, as well as upgrade fitment and other customization. It is here you can also buy new vehicles. Unlike SnowRunner, however, we have something called a base, known as the FOB, not FAB from Thunderbirds. Expeditions and MudRunner game lets you add up to 4 structures to your base and 2 for an outpost. Said building modules are pricey, at least in the preview, but in the case of the essential storage option, they do significantly bolster the amount of fuel, repair points and spare tires you have access to. Useful because, based on the 3 maps in the preview, you will not roll into a gas/petrol station. One thing I particularly like about Expeditions and MudRunner game is that when you add a rack, it does not give you a preset amount of fuel and repair points. Instead, you get a certain number of slots that you can use as you see fit. Maximize fuel, sir? No problem. Want some repair points too? As you wish. This extends beyond racks, making what would otherwise be mostly or totally aesthetic upgrades more useful. A more expensive bumper, for example, has an inventory slot on the Don 71. This plus more customization options overall means you end up being more invested in each truck that you purchase. There is also the ability to both push and pull the winch, allowing you to loosen the line if you need some wriggle room when maneuvering, but not fully let go and plummet back down a steep, rocky ascent. There really is a greater emphasis on driving, pre-planning, and rock crawling, especially as the new ability to lower your tire pressure to one of 3 levels really can be the difference between being totally stuck and escaping the mud or getting over steep rocks. Just remember to up the pressure when at speed or risk damage. What do I think about Expeditions, a MudRunner game so far? To be honest, the preview was not expansive enough to get particularly critical, but it did leave me wanting more. Yes, it made me miss big cargo deliveries, and it is reminiscent of those no longer updated SnowRunner trials. There is, however, something fresh about the expedition-based approach and all the new equipment. Balancing between taking enough equipment to ensure success without killing your profit is rewarding. I also love that the physics seem less unpredictable and that rock crawling is possible. Even trucks like the Don 71, a mostly weak offering in SnowRunner, can be an off-roading beast if you drive it well. That does not just mean steering and not tipping over, though both are essential. I mean that the ability to adjust your tire pressures for added traction really can help you out of a jam, while most gadgets are essential for route finding and survival. A combination of those, the push and pull winch system, and the generally slower pace really does make driving as satisfying as in SnowRunner, but not in quite the same way. Despite that random damage is still a thing sometimes, and I did get stuck on a bush. With plenty of stuff to unlock, plenty of places to explore, and plenty of new ways to tip over, all without a single snowflake in sight, maybe Expeditions and MudRunner game can coexist alongside that increasingly likely SnowRunner Year 4 pass after all. Though I do wish there was less overlap in terms of truck customization and presentation. Suffice to say, I went in worrying it would be a shallow cash grab. After nearly 10 hours, however, I am thinking we should not write it off just yet. At least, not until I can play the full game and give you the lowdown in due course. I still have some longevity and familiarity concerns, but so far, the Expeditions vibe is a likable one. Expeditions, a MudRunner game, will be available in 3 versions. There is the standard game, which includes the base game, and if you pre-order, the Great Don 71 cosmetic item. Then we have the Year 1 edition, which includes 96-hour early access, the Year 1 pass for extra as yet announced content, and the Cotco Canyon truck plus the standard game stuff. Last and most expensive is the Supreme Edition, which includes everything I just listed, plus the Pioneer Pack. This gives you alternative versions of 4 different trucks, though specifics are unknown. I suspect this is what the aforementioned SE is all about. Supported consoles are the Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC via Steam, and possibly Epic, though this has not been confirmed. Pre-orders are open now, link in the description. And on that note, I really hope this has given you a decent look at Expeditions, a MudRunner game. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments, or ask me questions. I can always include answers in the next video. Subscribe and like, take care, bye.